Hi guys, this is Jovi from Swift, and welcome to our weekly Twitter space for this week. Our special guests are two of our biggest partners. We have FIO Protocol and Space ID. So we will have Seletsky from Space ID, and also we'll have Wayne and Adil from FIO Protocol. So we are going to talk about Space ID and FIO, what Space ID and FIO Protocol specializes in, and also give us more information about their use cases. So we will start with Space ID. Can you guys, Seletsky, can you introduce yourself and tell us more about Space ID?
Sure. Hi, Jovi. Thanks so much for having me. Really appreciate you bringing us on. We recently had Space ID integrated into
Mm-hmm.
Bridgers as well as the Swift
That's
ecosystem, and really happy to be working with you guys. I'm a senior BD manager at Space ID, so working on partnerships and integrations. And we're building out a universal domain name service with a one stop identity platform that allows users to discover, register, trade, and manage all their Web3 domains in a single place. It also includes a Web3 name SDK and API for developers and provides a multi chain name service for everyone to easily build and create their own Web3 identity. So basically, regardless of the chain you're interacting on, we either provide or aggregate the top level domain so that from the user side, they can access all of their domains in a single place. And from the developer side, they can host all of these domain name ecosystems through a single integration.
Well, that's good to hear. So, we will talk about it more later. But I would also want FIO to talk about what you guys are specializing in, and can you guys introduce FIO protocols to our audiences, please?
Yeah, for sure. So FIO protocol is like universal domain name for that works on all blockchains and all wallets. So, for example, you know how there's some website that works, some domains that only work on BNB chains, some
Mm-hmm.
domains like, for example, Unstoppable only on Ethereum and few. So our domains, they actually work across all blockchains. So with the same, like in our dashboard or like with your domain, like if you have it, like for example, in any of our partners, like in Swift, the users can use all their not only all the currencies, like for example, if they want to send or transact with the like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, AVAX, Shiba Inu, wherever they prefer. They can do that with the same username. They don't need to have like a different domain for everything. And more importantly, it has other utilities such as you can make payments with it with FIO requests. You can sign your NFTs. We know like NFTs copies are like a big problem in the space. So basically, we aim to make crypto easier to use for everybody in the world.
Do you want to add more, Wayne?
Yeah, just a little bit more. I appreciate that. I'm Wayne. I go by Blockchain Wayne. I'm the head of growth at FIO. Like Adele mentioned, we're looking to partner with as many people as possible just to make crypto easier. At our core, FIO is a layer one blockchain. So we're not a smart contract that's built on another chain. We're a layer one blockchain that allows a lot of customization. It's an open source protocol. A lot of people can use it. And I'll probably save a little bit because I know one of the questions we'll probably get into is future use cases. We're seeing a lot of cool things outside of what Adil has mentioned as far as the use case for our protocol and what it can be used for. So I'll just leave it at that for now.
Alrighty, no problem. So, let me start with Space ID team. So, one of the biggest things about Space ID is how easy it is to explore the platform by domains, and how was the community responding to the platform, and how can our community get involved in Space ID?
Yeah, sure. So we have a pretty crypto native audience right now, although we are working to bridge that gap and make it easier for newcomers to interact in the Web3 space as well. And identities provide a really straightforward way to do that. Instead of interacting with your 40 character OX wallet address, you can bring your traditional name or identity over to your wallet and use that as your interaction point. So, as a bridge, as an aggregator that you guys provide, it makes it a lot easier for our ecosystem participants to understand not only which wallet and which chain they're interacting on, but how they can do that across different chains. So whether they have the same domain name across a variety of chains or they bring different identities depending on which platform they want to use, it makes it really easy to interact with these applications. So to get your own domain name, it's super simple. All you have to do is go to space.id. That's our website. And whether you want to register a domain name on ENS through Ethereum, which is the top level domain there, or BNB chain, Arbitrum, as well as other chains, you can do that all in one place. So registering your domain names, trading them on the secondary market, understanding where you can interact with them in different social and GameFi and DeFi applications. We provide a single point and a single hub to make that as accessible as possible.
All right, that's good to hear. Yeah, we will go with FIO protocol team now. So, the question that I have for you is, what does it mean to be e-commerce ready for FIO?
Wayne, you
Yeah,
want to go for that, or should I?
yeah,
Go
I'll
ahead,
take
Wayne.
that one. I mean, yeah, so let's get some great points about usability in crypto being e-commerce ready is we're ready for the masses. A lot of us that came into the space over the last few years or the last even longer than that. I mean, we've kind of bared through the difficulties of getting started and learning how to send and receive crypto using those long wallet addresses, and having something that makes it super easy to where someone can send and receive crypto as easy as they can send an email, which is something they're familiar with, the process. That's going to make it e-commerce ready to where users are then able to actually utilize their crypto. Most people you talk to today, even people that said they've been in crypto for a few years, I had this conversation with my brother-in-law over the weekend. He's been quote unquote investing in crypto for a few years, but he's never withdrawn from exchange. So he doesn't know that pain point of using crypto, sending and receiving. And so like what we're doing, what Space ID is doing, making it easier for people to utilize it, to send it to where there's no pain points. And that's going to make it easier for businesses to adopt if it's an easier process for them to understand. So that's what it's going to take to get e-commerce ready. Is I'm not saying there's a lot of different use cases. People need to be able to pay or utilize whatever handle or human readable wallet address that they're familiar with. And just the way we operate is we're interoperable with everything. So someone has all those other domains, they can map those to a FIO handle as well and be able to pay simply. But no matter which one they're using, there's less friction when they do that because there's less of a chance. The way our protocol operates, you can't send to the wrong wallet address. If you type it wrong, it won't let you send it. If you type it right and what you're trying to send doesn't match the chain, the token you're trying to send doesn't match the chain address, it won't let you send it as well. So those guardrails that make it easy and stop mistakes are going to be ones that really lead to more adoption and where we see crypto actually used for payments.
Well, that's interesting. And actually, Space ID and FIO protocol almost has the same business model, right? So this question is for Seletsky. What are the best use cases for Space ID domains name?
Yeah, so that really depends on the end user and their goal. I would say any application that introduces social interactions can be a good potential use case for domain names.
Uh-huh.
I think a very good one is GameFi, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to interact with a Web3 gamer tag versus a more arbitrary wallet address is super important, whether you're trading items between users and tracking that history, whether it's a leaderboard, whether you're messaging within your clan, or just competing against other users. And that also goes for other applications, DeFi applications, SocialFi applications, really anywhere you're interacting outside of just simple non-social interactions. Domain names do provide that additional level of utility and usability. So the sky is really the limit there, and because of that, we're also, promoting building on top of our protocol so that different users, different developers can develop applications and introduce these social interactions further directly on top of the Space ID domains.
Well, that's cool. So just to confirm, people can just put their Space ID domain name and that's it, right? It's easy as that.
Yeah, so when you own the domain name NFT, it's the same as purchasing any other NFT, ERC 721, BSC 721 token. It will show that domain name instead of the wallet address. So, similar to a website, they have an IP address, it can be
Mhm.
1.28.24, etc. Or it can be, Swift.com, Bridgers.com, and you know exactly what you're interacting with. So it really just makes it much easier to understand and much more straightforward. And there's nothing technical from the user perspective. They just have to actually own that domain name NFT.
Cool. And it's also the same with FIO crypto handles, right?
Yeah, it's very similar, and I would agree with what he said. Gaming has been our biggest interest lately with gaming projects and gaming studios because the users want to be able to have that gamer tag, that gamer handle that represents their identity. In some cases, with ours, we've seen guilds buy because our crypto handles in the format of username at domain, so someone can purchase one domain and make numerous handles with that domain. And so what we've seen is gaming guilds also buy those. Those domains and allow their members to register handles on them. They keep it gated to where only if you're a member of the guild can you register a handle on that. And then users, because as we onboard more users from Web 2 to Web 3, especially in gaming, they're not going to care what blockchain they're playing on. So whether they're playing on Solana or Polygon or Wax or any of these other chains, it shouldn't matter to them what chain they're playing on. They have a handle that's universal to all. So that's definitely important for them. So that's just one of the major use cases because even in the downturn in the market, gaming development has continued to push on, and that's what I've seen at a lot of events. But there's a lot of other great use cases that are emerging too.
Okay. And what is FIO request and FIO data?
So we think that actually fee request is something that can revolutionize the payment system because right now we still have a problem for like paying with crypto. So imagine in the physical world and the same thing online, you want to go to a store, you want to pay with crypto. So the store has got to send you like an SMS or like email with the address, and then or you can like use the QR code and then everything. So we use something fee request is basically the store can request the money from the payer. For example, let's say you have Solana and it's $40. The store can send you a fee request with $40 worth of Solana. For you, you're just going to see a request with your ID name, with your FIO name. You slide one button and the payment is there. So we're making it so easy for the users that all they have to do is to slide the button. And the same thing for the merchants. And the FIO data is, for example, like if I want to send you some money, like a gift, or like, for example, for lunch, or it's the metadata that exists on the blockchain. Like the note also, it's good for accounting, for example, like this is salary. It's good for so many reasons. And Wayne, if you want to evolve on that.
Yeah, not much more to say about that. Adil explained it good. I always compare it. People are used to using centralized systems. Like in our case, where I'm in the U.S., it's PayPal and Venmo, and people that have used those and others like Cash App know that you can request payments from other people, and also add a little note about why you're requesting it. And so we've added that capability to where you can request any cryptocurrency, any amount, and like Adil said, the user doesn't have to even type in anything. When the user receives the request, if they approve it, they just have to, depending on how the UI, which wallets integrate our protocol, they either have to just push a button or swipe to approve it.
Wow, that's really good. So I just have a question for both Space ID and FIO protocol. This is actually an open question. So Space ID domains and FIO crypto handles can be used on Swift. Now, how does it help Swift users?
Yeah, I can start if you guys don't mind. So, for me, I think there's a few different ways. The first off is a lot of crypto users have multiple wallets, sometimes a couple, sometimes 10 or more, interacting on different applications. And it makes it really easy to differentiate that for the user. So, although it doesn't necessarily involve the actual usage of the application, it does make that classification much easier. If you want to bridge over certain tokens from certain wallets, you have, Solana tokens on your first wallet, you have Polygon tokens on your second wallet. Instead of having to go through all of those different wallets and all of those different chains, you can know based on your identity and your ID name which wallet you're interacting with. So I think that's the easiest way. And it also just makes it easier to track your trading history, understand the flow of your assets across these different ecosystems, and just makes it easier to interact in general.
Okay. All right. Get it. And what about for FIO?
So, go ahead, Wayne.
Yeah, I mean, Selesky did a great job explaining what theirs do. There's a lot of similarities There's also a lot of synergies, but um, really for the users, it helps to make it easier for users. And like I mentioned, a lot of people that are already using your platform and others, they've already learned how to use it, but there's still that friction of when they go to send and receive, or like you mentioned, bridge over, and just having that ability to transact easier. The users that you have now are going to benefit, but as you onboard more users into the space, into projects, and they're using Swift, they'll be able to, like, the learning curve will be a lot easier for them, and it'll just help to onboard a lot more users, making it easy, because it reduces those pain points and making mistakes. As mentioned, like when they're going to receive or send something, they don't need to, or bridge over something, not having to know all those different long wallet addresses. It's not user friendly, and having simple handles or domains that users can easily plug together, plug in and just transact without having to worry about that. I think it's going to really help speed up adoption.
Yeah, I think if I may add just like one quick minute, like both Seletsky and Wayne like said it perfectly, and we do have like a lot of synergies and between us. But yeah, so imagine, for example, like you Jovi at Swift, so people know that, like, for example, your address is the same your domain. Imagine somebody's using Kusama out of the Polkadot, or like something using Juno out of the Cosmos blockchain. It's still gonna be basically like your identity can operate across any blockchain and across any wallet. So basically making it easier for the user. And yeah.
Oh, that's great. So, yeah, we will talk about another thing, which is domains and use cases. So, for Space ID, for Seletsky, what are your favorite domains and collections?
That's hard. It's like asking someone who their favorite child is. There's lots of really cool domain names. For me, I just think being able to bring over your Web2 identity, whether it's a nickname, your Twitter handle, etc., is very cool. But we do have a lot of very interesting sub communities within the Space ID ecosystem. The 3-digit club, the 4-digit club, the 5-digit club. Owning something like 999.brb, BNB, or your own initials. It's really hard to say what is my favorite, but I just think giving people the ability to customize their Web3 identity how they see fit is a really, really cool feature, and just makes it really easy to bridge that gap when you're using applications on chain.
Okay, okay. And what about for the FIOT? What?
So for me, there's two, and then let's wait and say his favorites. So for me, there's two. One of them is I thought it was brilliant. So I found somebody with a domain that has actually an alphanumeric sequence. Like the Bitcoin address is the domain, which I thought was hilarious. Like basically like it's a genius kind of joke. But the other one is for me Twitter for sure, because the Twitter domain allows, for example, to send people and transact crypto just with your Twitter handle. So you don't need to send me anything. If you have the FIO, if you claim the Twitter handle from FIO, we can transact any like crypto product just by your Twitter handle. For example, so Web3 in the crypto Twitter is filled with giveaways. A lot of people give giveaways to reward the fans, to reward participation. So those fans, they have every time like to go to their wallet and copy paste their, let's say their AVAX wallet. They go to Cosmos and then copy here, send me some atoms here. So instead of doing that, with the FIO Twitter name, the domain, people can send them to the winners. And we're doing that right now. Crypto straight to their Twitter handle, which is like amazing it's like Venmo, like if you know somebody's number, likewise for Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So for yes, are you saying something? You want to say something, Wayne?
Yeah, I just want to chime in real quick. Dill, I mean, I was going to agree with the Twitter one. We've got some more promotions coming. It's actually the pinned tweet on the FIO profile. If you go to it right now, that you can register whatever your Twitter handle is. You can register that username at Twitter for free. There's no cost on it. And then we're going to have some future promotions where we do some more giveaways as well. But outside of that, one use case I've done is actually personally I was able to buy my last name as a domain. And then I have 4 kids, and every one of my kids, I created a handle for them, which is their first name at last name. And so like my oldest, she's graduating high school this week. So she's going to get her wallet turned over to her, but her name's Reese, and then it's Reese at Marcel. So over the last couple of years, since I set it up, whenever I wanted to save crypto for them, it didn't matter whether I was saving Bitcoin or ETH. I didn't have to go and look up what was Reese's wallet address. I could just type in the handle and send it, and I know it was going to get there. And same concept for my cold storage. I've named my cold storage device something, so that way whenever I want to send my own crypto to cold storage, I don't have to go pull out the device or look up what that address is. I just type in the handle. So things like that make it super easy.
Wow, cool. So just a quick question. This is for both FIO protocol and Space ID. Once a user buy a domain or a name, can they change it in the future, or they need to buy it again?
Hey, so how our domains work and how generally domain registrations work is there's a 1-year minimum, but you can register your domain name as long as you want. And you can also register as many domain names as you want. So if I own 10 different domain names, all of those will be attached to my wallet address. And all of those I'll be able to receive or send funds to. But you also have your primary domain name. So even if I own 10.bnb domain names, I have to set one as my primary domain name. For now, that's seletsky.bnb. So whenever I interact with an application that has integrated our API, it'll always show that primary domain name. But there is no limit. You know, if you want to own multiple domain names on a single chain, on different chains, if you want to own variations of your own domain name, if you want to buy them for your friends or your family and distribute them over time, or even have multiple multiple domains to receive funds from different domains, it's all possible. So really just depends on the user and what they prefer to have show up. But you can register, own, and trade as many domain names as you like.
Wow, cool. Yes,
Yeah,
Wayne?
I'll hop in now. Yeah, I can hop in now for ours. It's it's similar. So with our handles being in the format of username at domain, if someone wanted to customize it like I did with my last name, those domains renew every year. You can buy like a 1, 2, or 3 year registration. The cool thing is there's no premium charge for short domains. So if the domain is 2 letters or 3 letters, unlike other services, there's no upcharge for those premium ones. So someone can customize there, or if someone wants to use a public domain that we made public, like the @Twitter, or we also have like Wallet. We also have @Wallet, @Hodl, @Moon. There's a few others. Those are typically a one-time registration. Each user gets the one handle for free, and after that, the handles are only $2, and those never expire. So the only time someone has to pay for renewal is if they customize it with their own domain. And then outside of that, they can use multiple. They can use a bunch of different ones. Similar, you can have one wallet that has multiple crypto handles tied to it, and they can change it if they want. It's all a mapping process. Or if I wanted to, like for instance, the scenario I just gave with my daughter, whenever I sign over the wallet to her, I'm actually going to send her that handle. That's her name. Because it's your handle is an NFT as well, so you can send it just like you can send crypto.
Okay, that clears it up. So, this is for Space ID team. What should we expect in the future from Space ID?
Yeah, we have a lot of really cool stuff coming down the pipeline. First, we just released our DAO infrastructure a few weeks ago. So we're going fully community governed and community focused. All of our registration fees will be going back to our community in one way or another. 50% will go to the DAO treasury for grants and however the DAO sees fit. And the other 50% will go back to a buyback and burn of the ID token in order to decrease that supply. So we've had well over 1 million registrations so far, with the minimum registration cost at $5. Maximum can be up to $600 depending on the rarity of the domain name, something like satoshi.bnb, for example.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a very large treasury that is going to go not only to empowering our community, growing out the ecosystem and reducing the token supply, but allowing the community and the ecosystem to grow by incentivizing developers to integrate and build on top of it. So that's something I'm really excited for. We're also getting ready to release additional top-level domains. We announced that we will be the top-level domain of the Say network, which will be releasing their L1 shortly. Beyond that, there's lots of other cool stuff like our application that will allow different ecosystems to launch their own domain names. So instead of having to use .bnb, you could launch a .swift or a .bridgers, or you can do a subdomain. So instead of jovi.bnb, it could be jovi.swift.bnb, which is really fun because it allows you to show, the applications or the ecosystems you support and really just add another level of customization. So lots of really cool stuff. Some other stuff I can't necessarily announce yet, but we do have a lot building in the background.
We will definitely wait for that, and we hope it will be done really soon. So this is for FIO team. Yeah, what should we expect from you guys in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. We also have a lot of cool things coming. One of the biggest things is we've got, I'll kind of hint at a product that's going to be coming out. We've partnered with a really great wallet project that's building a solution that's going to work with all wallets, all applications in terms of imagine being able to onboard users and users are able to set up a wallet, spin up a wallet. It's non-custodial, which means they control their keys, but the user doesn't even realize that they're using crypto or they're using blockchain technology. Just to make it super easy, a lot of games have been asking for something like that. So that's one of the things that we have coming. We'll have more details coming soon. But outside of that, just exploring additional use cases as well. There's there's quite a few projects we've been working with in the decentralized identity space to where a decentralized identity is going to be important going forward, where a user controls their data and having a FIO handle is just one piece of that identity. It's not FIO crypto handles and FIO protocol is not a total solution for that, but it definitely has it as you can map, data that's on blockchain or centralized data that may just be on the cloud to a FIO handle to verify identity as well. And also just a quick blurb. So Seletsky, I went ahead and followed you on Twitter. Man, last year I had a call with somebody, can't remember who it was, at Space ID, and really great guy. We talked about just there's a lot of synergies here, and I think there's a lot of things we could probably do together. But at the time, it was hard for me to really understand. Now that I revisited your website earlier today, I think there's a lot that we could probably work together too to help foster crypto adoption.
Yeah, definitely happy to discuss. Sounds like we're building towards a lot of the same things. So if we can promote the decentralized identity ecosystem, we're always open to seeing what we can do.
That's cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll send you a message. Let's connect after the space.
Yeah, definitely.
This is really great. So, for now, I will open the questions from the audiences. Would that be okay with you guys?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, sounds good.
So everyone who wants to ask a question, kindly request to speak so that I can approve it and you can ask your question. So we'll just wait for anyone. Okay. Hi, Rohit. Can you hear me? Hi, Rohit. Can you hear us? You're on mute.
Okay, hello.
Yes, hi.
Hi. I just want to know why the price of SWFT is very low.
I'm sorry. This question is for
SWFT.
Oh, for Swift.
Swift, yeah.
Oh, okay. Our fee is really low. We are actually one of the lowest in the industry. This is because we prioritize our users, so that's why we have given out really low fees for our users.
You think this coin will reach 1 cent?
We're working on it. So, do you have any questions for FIO and Space ID?
No, that's all. Thank you.
All right. Anyone who has questions for FIO protocol and Space ID? Let me check. Here, Freezeball. Freezeball, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are around the continent. Yeah, just trying to confirm about the domain. For example, I did register a domain for a year. So right after the 1 year, after I lapsed in, I didn't actually resubscribe or extend my usage of the domain. Will the domain deprecate or it will be reissued to another new user?
So for FIO, I don't know about Space ID, but looking forward for to learn more because I love the projects too. So for FIO protocol, if you don't renew it, another person could register it before. But it's no different than the domain names of like your websites, and there's like renewal fees, and you can, for example, if you think you're gonna forget, you can renew for like 1 month, 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. So imagine like you don't want to like have to do it every time. You can just like renew for 3 years, and you have to forget about it for 2 years. By the way, I love your name. This is what I used to feel when I lived in Sweden. So
yeah. Also, just to give one more sentence of clarity. So with our domains that expire, there's typically after it expires, there's a 90-day period before it's actually burned. So the user, they forget they have 90 days, and every time they go to an application or log into our dashboard, it reminds them that it's expired, and so they can renew it. But after 90 days, it gets burned, and then another user can register it. So there is a grace period that you have to renew.
Okay.
Yeah, it's similar for us. We do have pretty much unlimited amount of time you can register your domain. If you want to register your domain name for 1,000 years, you can do that. 1 year is the minimum, but there is no upper level to that. Similar to FIO, we do have a buffer period. After that period, the domain name goes into an auction process because, especially for high fidelity domains, we don't want them necessarily sniped by bots right away. We want to make a fair launch. So if a high value domain isn't renewed, first it goes into that buffer, then an auction period. If there's no auction, then it goes back into the general pool to be registered like any other domain name. But if you are worried about your domain name expiring, I would just recommend extending the registration period.
Okay, sorry, thanks for the clarification. And also I'd like to it's more like a suggestion because I was just thinking if I'd have to register probably a domain for let's give for example $5 and trying to extend my registration for like six years. Let me just give an example for 6 years. Don't you think that there should be like a discount for someone who is registering for 6 years straight, probably maybe 5% or 10% discount for the amount of registering for 6 years? Just like an example, I'm just giving an example though.
Yeah, it's an interesting suggestion. Might be something worth looking into, but we don't necessarily want to prioritize certain holders over others. The domain name does have that set registration price depending on its rarity, depending on how sought after it is. So we give everyone the same chance. If you don't think that it's worth $5 to register it for another year, that's totally fine. You don't have to go through with that. And you can also buy domain names on the secondary market, sometimes even for cheaper than that $5 fee. So it really depends on the user and their needs. I do understand that if you do register it for a long amount of time, maybe it would make sense to offer some sort of discount. But at the same time, we do want to foster an equal environment for everyone.
All right, thanks for the time. That will be all for now. Thanks.
Okay. We have another question from one of our community members in Telegram. So the question is, crypto handles are meant to trace users, and crypto space was developed for anonymity. Sorry for that. Is this a move forward or backward?
Yeah, I can get started on that if you guys don't mind. I think decentralization and anonymity is a massive aspect of crypto, and I don't think domain names necessarily give that away. Similar to handles on Twitter, you can use a pseudonymous domain name. I would say one really good example is Punk6529. He's 6529.eth. He's very famous. Everyone can track his wallet. They
Yeah.
know he is the legitimate user, and he has that identity without actually doxing himself. So you can definitely have your domain and keep your anonymity. It's really just your choice and what you want to make available to the public.
Cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, everybody can create an email. Same thing. Excellent allegory that Seletsky said with the Twitter. For example, anybody can create an email, go to the dashboard, and then grab a domain totally anonymously, paying with crypto. The same thing if they do it, for example, who are listed in both custodial and non-custodial wallets. Somebody from our partners, they have an anonymous account, let's say in Edge Wallet, and they can grab a domain there or crypto handle. People can be anonymous while using a domain name. There's no problem with that at all.
Yeah, I also like to explain it to people as like comparing it to email addresses. So when I taught people web security, you teach people you don't use the same email address for everything. There's one email address that you give out publicly. It's kind of just one that's your public. And then you also have private ones that you don't share with other people. And for my case, when I teach people that about emails, it's usually with financial based accounts. Don't use the same email that you use for a store rewards card or something. It's the same thing here. You can have a handle mapped to certain wallets that you're not worried about. Usually those low value wallets, one that you use every day for minor stuff, but like your cold storage and other stuff, you would want to keep that. So as mentioned before, you can choose which handles you want to use, and they don't necessarily have to give away anything about your identity.
All right. We have another question. Wait. Arvind. Is this Arvind? Aravind, can you hear us? Aravind, can you hear us? Do you have a question? Is there anyone else in our audience that would want to ask questions to FIO protocol and Space ID? Okay. So I don't see anyone wanting to ask questions. Guys, I just want to thank you. Everyone who has joined our guest, Adil, Wayne, and Seletsky, thank you so much for joining. And thank you for giving us more information about FIO protocol and Space IDs. Do you have any other things that you wanted to say to our audiences?
No, just thank you for having us, and great to meet you, Seletsky. Your project is awesome. Hopefully there's some synergies between us, and thank you to the audience as well for joining. And thank you, Swift, and thank you, you personally as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, same here. Thanks, everyone. Really enjoyed the conversation, and looking to see how we can continue to move the decentralized identity ecosystem forward.
Alrighty. Thank you so much, guys. And after this, guys can converse on how you can help each other. And thank you for joining us today, everyone. Have a good night, good day. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thanks.